This morning around 8 o'clock, there was a reported phone call of bricks falling off an exterior Midtown office building. When the fire department responded, they realized that two columns, steel columns, had structurally collapsed. Under further investigation, they realized that the box beam had failed above. There was other structural movement in the building, and the entire building was vacated, including neighboring properties. Per New York City building department officials and fire department officials, they have created a frozen zone between 40th Street and 45th Street, between First and Third Avenues. They are currently monitoring the structural movement. They are saying the building is currently moving. Many people are wondering, is this building actually going to collapse completely? And from what I've seen on TV and the news articles here, is that they have a box beam that is structurally damaged, which obviously caused the two steel columns to bow inward. From there, they're not sure what's going to happen, whether that box beam further moves, and from there, there's a complete pancake all the way down, or is it something they can physically stabilize with the proper equipment and then monitor it and see if there's any movement from there on forward. From my experience of handling building collapses, it's usually the hidden damages that you're looking for. If you have this sudden movement of these columns and the box beam, I would start to investigate, if I'm an engineer, other floors and see the trickle down effect. And obviously, you want to look for movements of windows and facade on the upper floors as well, to see how you're going to stabilize this building. With New York City having the best structural engineers in place, I'm sure they're going to be figuring out a way how to stabilize the building from the basement, working their way all the way up until it's probably stabilized, until they can come up with a further remediation plan. I've been a public adjuster for almost 20 years, and we've seen structural collapses, whether it's due to weight of vehicles or weight of snow or weight of rain or weight of people or weight of equipment. So when you have a collapse, it isn't as straightforward as the area you're looking at. You want to look for the other areas that moved as a result of the collapse and what caused the collapse. You want to make sure this is not going to happen on the upper floors. But collapse claims are pretty extensive. You have to, in essence, be like a forensic investigator, investigating every little thing that may have been damaged as a result of this collapse, and figure out how this affects the operations. Look, this building was being converted to, I think, a 1,600 unit residential building from an office building. So the operations right now are going to be halted. Unfortunately, you have neighboring buildings that are going to be impacted from this collapse here at this building, because they've, in essence, created a frozen zone. So obviously, employees of neighboring buildings can't go to work. That affects their operations. If there's any other businesses on the retail floors that can no longer take customers, et cetera, you're going to have business interruption losses, not just with this building, but obviously the neighboring properties. And who knows how long this is going to take. It's obviously ultimately up to, whether this building can be salvaged or whether it has to be taken down. And again, this is a minute by minute discussion based on the movement of the building and how quick the building can be stabilized or not. So our firm is going to be following the events. This is a major one, and New York City is our backyard. We handle most of the buildings in New York City, whether it's condo and co buildings, office buildings, and whatnot. So as our team continues to follow developments and we learn more information about this loss, this is a good time to obviously just look at your policies, see if you have the right coverage. God forbid there is a collapse or other type of structural damage. With this weekend storm, a lot of people are experiencing, whether it's wind damage claimed from straight line winds, macro burst, micro burst, tree collapses. I'm sure you saw on TV that day, there was a roof that collapsed at the BJ's in New Jersey, due to the weight of water. So collapses, are familiar to our firm. It's how you investigate them, how you document them, and ultimately, you need someone to advocate for you with your insurance company to make sure you get every dollar you're entitled to. With a claim of this complexity and size, the landlords and those involved in the operations are going to want to make sure that their insurance is in order and they have their team put together to make sure this claim is properly presented in the best light possible. And if anybody has questions on building collapses, structural failures, water damage, and whatnot, we hear 1-800-718-5677.